Hi everybody, this is Ben Colby, Teen Librarian, with the Level 2 video for The Legend of Zorda, our Zelda-style dungeon game. So in part 1, we're walking around and we can fire one arrow at a time. Next, let's get some coins going. All right, so on a timer, I want this to happen randomly on a timer. So it's under game update every certain amount of time. Let's just start by saying every 2 seconds a coin is spawned somewhere. And so we're going to create a new variable called a coin of kind. Well, let's just add a new kind and call it coins, or just coin. Nice thing here is we can go into the gallery and find a nice coin image, and we can even animate it. And unlike before, when we needed a bunch of different animations for different directions, this one we can just stick with the basic one. And there's a nice animation for the coin right here. And I'm just going to loop that forever. Great. So we are spawning the coin, and then we're going to place that coin on top of a random spawn point, which is under scene. Place my sprite on top of random thing. So we're placing the coin on top of random, and we said we wanted this one. And so let me just test that real quick. So as time goes on, I'd better see a few coins popping up. Oh, yep, there they are. They're turning very slow, but that's okay. In fact, let's make them turn a lot faster. Okay, so I'm happy with that. And then let's say I'm just going to copy this whole loop. Instead of 2 seconds, let's say 5 seconds. I'm going to create an enemy. So let's create a new variable. Set slime to a sprite of... All right, so rather than draw something new, I want to try to keep things simple today, and let's just use the snake instead. So it's not a slime. I'm renaming it to a snake. And then we're going to animate the snake, and we could give it different directions of animation, but I'll just give it the basic animation. It just kind of wiggles around. That's fine. And that's good. And then place the snake on top of random monster spawner. Good. So as time goes on, we should... So every 5 seconds, we're spawning an enemy. That's great. So now we just want to make sure that the arrows kill the enemies. So let's do that. That's an overlap under sprites. On sprite of kind projectile overlaps sprite of kind snake, or enemy, I guess. Wait, did I say that's an enemy? This is a sprite of kind enemy. Okay. When projectile overlaps enemy, we destroy the projectile and we destroy the enemy. And I want to actually just drag these right in here. Destroy sprite, destroy other sprite. That is, so let's also think about, do we want to think about score, or does it just go away? Is there any value? Maybe we can replace the enemy with a coin once it's been killed. But if I shoot at it, oh, I just killed it. Great. let's think about what to do. You could replace it with a coin, maybe. Let's do another thing where if the player overlaps the coin, on sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind coin. Well, we would destroy the coin, which is under sprites. We don't destroy the player. If I say destroy sprite like that, that's a mistake. That would destroy the player, not the coin. So now when I walk over a coin, it's going to make the coin disappear. Great. And it's also, should we be counting score? Yes, I think we have no choice but to just start with a score. So in my start menu, I'm going to set my score to 0. That's not the start menu. Start menu is over here. I'm going to set my score to 0. And let's, while we're in there, let's just go ahead and set the life of the player to a certain amount. Can I get 10 hearts across the top? No. How many hearts can I get across the top? Does 6 go across the top? No. Can I only get... Does 4 go across the top? Yeah. Does 5 work? Nope. So I'm going to stick with 4. And that way I get those 4 hearts. All right. Every time I get a coin, then my score goes up by 1. Change score by 1. And let's just do the same thing. Let's not replace it with anything. Let's just change the score by 1 when you destroy a other sprite, destroy enemy. I wonder if I can make it blow up with coins. That would make it so it's kind of obvious what's happening while you're getting the points. Well, I don't know. I guess that's fine. Let's just use that. All right, so then the other overlap is if the player crashes into a snake. Oops. If the player crashes into a snake, which is an overlap in the sprite menu, if sprite of kind player overlaps other sprite of kind enemy, then we destroy the enemy, which is the other sprite in this case, and we're going to lower your life. We're going to change life. Can we go by less than, I wonder if we can do half a heart? Minus 0.5, is that possible? Okay, so what happens if I crash into a snake? Do I lose half a heart? There's a snake. Oh, I'm having bad luck finding snakes. Oh, yep, no, I just, I lost a whole heart. Wait, but then if I crash into another one, I think it's gonna not show up. So I got my coin there. So if I crash into another snake, no, it's just taking a full thing. Well, let's just stick with that. That's okay. Just change the life by -1. Okay. And when we leave, that's another overlap condition. Except this time we're overlapping a tile, so that is under scene. On sprite of kind player overlaps tile. If the player overlaps the exit, then I think for now let's just say game over. Game over win with smiles. This is the spot where you could put stage 2. You could put another tile map in there. But for now, let's just say it's game over. And actually, let's say if your score is above a certain point. You can't leave the level until your score is above a certain point. So I'm using logic. If life is, or I'm sorry, not life, score. If score is greater than or equal to, how many do you need? 20? Then game over. Otherwise, nothing happens. Else, let's give you a message. And the sprite can say something as the message. Otherwise, so if you don't have enough of a score to leave, then the player sprite will say, need 20 coins. That's very good. I want to add one more thing, and that is I want to make the monsters a little bit more aggressive. So on a game update, and I guess this can just be this first one, this game update, a thing that's checking all the time, not on a timer, just constantly checking. So what we're going to do is make the snakes get angry when a player gets close. So let's do the array thing. Snake list. New variable. We're going to set the snake list to an array of sprites, which is in the sprite menu. Every single time I forget where it is. It's under life cycle, array of sprites of kind enemy. And then for item in the array, which is a special loop, for element value of list. And that would be the snake list. Then we do a check. And every kind of check we do is always an if loop. So if the player is within a certain amount in the X and Y direction, okay? So we actually need two things. This might get a little complicated, but that's fine. If my sprite X, and that would be the player sprite X value minus, it's under math, plus and minus. If the X value of the player sprite minus the X value of, in this case, value, because it has to be the snake. It's that item in the list. And so what I have here is player sprite X value minus snake X value. We're measuring how far they are apart in the X direction. I also want to take the absolute value of that. Absolute of all that, meaning it doesn't matter which direction. And we're going to finally do a math thing. If all of that is less than a certain amount. Oh, no, that is not how you do that. My bad. We want the comparison block, not the math block. Comparison. If the absolute value of all this is less than a certain amount, and I think it's 16 pixels per tile. So let's say if we're within 50, let's see if that is about what we need. So if we're close in the X direction, and you know what, let's just make this crazy. If I'm going to put that absolute thing in the first part of an and. Oh, and you know what? I'm going to copy it first. Absolute of player sprite y minus value y. Boom. So this is a huge multi-part math question that goes right there. So let's take a look at it all together. It's an and statement with an and in the middle. If absolute value of player sprite x minus value x, meaning the snake's x position, is less than a certain amount, and the absolute value of the player sprite's y value minus the snake's y value is less than a certain amount, that would mean that you're pretty close. So that's going to change the snake's behavior. So let's change, it's under images, we're going to, or no, it's under, we can just change the sprite's image to something. Yep, it's all the way at the bottom, set my sprite image. So in this case, we need to stick with value because it's the snake that's changing. I'm just going to delete that. Set the snake image to, well, let's see, we used this one. I'm going to change its eyes to red. I'm going to make its eyes even bigger. That's fine. And then the animation is going to change. Actually, I don't even need to set the image. I can just change the animation. Let's just animate the sprite, which is also known, or the snake, which we can describe by saying value in this case. All right, I'm going to go to my other. That was it. It's just two things. Okay, so I can click between the two frames of the animation here. And let's just do the eyes. It's angry. It gets angry when players get nearby. So we'll be able to see the difference. The other, oops, that was kind of weird. All right. So it gets angry when we're close. And the other thing that happens is we change the sprite's behavior. It doesn't do anything up to this point. But now, once it notices, we're going to take value to follow the player sprite. And so we just gave that, that sprite a new behavior. It's gonna go straight after the player sprite with speed 100, which is actually faster than the player. So that actually, oops, just wanted to delete this. So that actually sounds pretty good. Let's test the game. I think we may be done. Now my arrows have stopped working. They're only working in the down direction. What did I do? Hold on. Okay, it's working now. I just had to replace one of the images which had somehow gotten messed up. So I'm testing the game, and oops. So I'm gonna get close to, oh no, wow, it zoomed at me really fast. Wow. Okay, I can't possibly get away when it moves that fast. So I think I just need it to go slower, but other than that, it's a pretty good challenge. Whoa. Yeah, the snakes are just way too aggressive. They're like guided missiles. Yep, but I can kill them. Ooh, and there's one stuck on the other side of the wall trying to get me. That's pretty good. Okay, so let me just blow this up and just do one. So start over. I'm just going to try to do one run through. I think I need 20 points. Let's see how it works. That is okay. I'm going to remember to stay very far away from the snakes, because if you get anywhere close, they will kill you really fast. Oh no, like that. I don't even want to go near that one. Ugh, I made it too hard. It's going to take me too long to get 20 points. Now I have 2 points, or 3 points. Oh, 4 points, 5 points, and I'm going into the treasure room. Yep. Whoa, okay. That's the treasure room, 13, 14, 15. If I just hang out in the treasure room, can I get my 20? Yeah, and on the way back, I can get the 20th one. Oh, no. All right, 1 health left. Ah. Well, anyway, it's a pretty hard game. So I need to make the snakes move slower, for sure, when they get angry. Where is that? That is on game update. Follow with speed. I'm going to just cut its speed in half so that it, well, you know, the player's moving at 50. Let's just make the snake move at 60. So it's impossible to run away from a snake after it starts to go after you. Very good. Let's review. Let's see what we added in part 2. In the start menu, the only change was that we set our score and our life. We added this game update every 2,000 milliseconds, or 2 seconds. We created the opening. Oh, for some reason my images are getting lost. That happens once in a while with MakeCode Arcade. Anyway, we create the initial image, we animate it, we place it on top of a certain spawn point. We also have a very similar thing for the enemy every 5 seconds. And then we have all of our overlaps. If the projectile overlaps the enemy, we destroy both and we change the score. If the player overlaps the coin, we destroy only the coin and we change our score. If the player overlaps an enemy, the enemy dies and we lose 1 life. If the player overlaps the exit stairs, well, I have an if loop. If the score is high enough, you win. Else, you're going to get a warning message saying, wait, I need 20. Or need 20 score. And then there's this game update loop, which is not running on a timer. It's running constantly. And this is the, so we start by creating a list of the snakes. And then we have a loop where we run through that list. And for each item, it does something. So I have this long math thing. And what that's doing is checking, are we close? If the absolute value of the positions subtracted from each other is less than a certain amount, and the absolute value of the difference of the y positions. In other words, are we close? Then we animate the snake differently. It goes crazy, and it follows with a certain speed. All right, well, that's all I got for the Legend of Zorda. And that's level 1, and you could create 1,000,000 levels to this.